Welcome, writers, readers, and friends to the Authors Talking Bookish podcast. I'm Donna Norman Carbone, author of All That Is Sacred.
And I'm Hope Gibbs, author of Where the Grass Grows Blue.
We're two debut writers traditionally published by a small publishing house, bringing to you all the experiences that we as authors learn the hard way, so you don't have to.
We'll give you insights from the inception of a book idea to publication and beyond. And along the way, we'll share our love of books from the writer's perspective.
Welcome back, friends. It is episode 61, and Hope and I are both delighted to have on a friend and pub sister, Barbara Conrey, USA Today best-selling author who just released a new book, and it's fabulous. We cannot wait to talk to her about it. I'm Donna Norman Carbone, and this is Hope Gibbs. Hi, Hope.
Hey, Donna. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. It's the holiday season, and I'm now putting up my Christmas tree. And I'm the person that's going to wait for the season, but I think I'm actually ready. I'm decorated. What about you?
Yeah, I'm decorated. My Dickens Village is up. My Christmas tree is up. I'm ready to go. The baby is not here yet, but hopefully in the next week or so. I cannot wait. I'm counting down.
Talk about the best Christmas present ever. So, we usually do a little banter and we talk about books, but we are so excited to have this author here. I have been a big fan of hers, and I've read her books, her first two books, and I'm starting her third book. And I have to say, she's one of the most delightful, most generous authors out there. And she kind of really took us under her wing when we were debut authors at Read Adept. And I am so excited to have her here. And without further ado, let's bring her on. It is none other than USA Today bestselling author Barbara Conrey. Hello, Barbara.
Oh my gosh, you guys make me blush.
Well,
Thanks for having me here.
We are delighted to have you here.
Delighted. I think we asked you earlier in the year, and this was the best time that we could get you here. And a little trivia that most people would not know. We're all 5 feet or under. We are the shortest author grouping, I think, out there, because we've never met in person, but it came up one time, and I'm always the shortest person at 5. And Donna was like, I think I've got you beat. And Barbara's like, I think I've got you beat. So we are a very height challenge group of ladies.
We might be small, but we're feisty.
And mighty. And mighty.
Well, Barbara, thank you so much for being here. And before we get started, I just want to give everyone just a little bit of your background. Barbara is, like I said, the USA Today bestselling author of Nowhere Near Goodbye, which was her debut. It was released by Read Adept Publishing, as well as her sophomore novel, My Secret to Keep, and her third that just came out in October, A Fine Layer of Dust. She is a member of the WFWA, the Women's National Book Association, and the Author Talk Network. She also moderates the online book club for Facebook group called Bookish Road Trip, which Donna and I both were tour guides. Travel is her passion, along with reading, writing, hiking, and exploring antique shops. Her greatest love is Miss Molly, her rescue beagle. She lives in Pennsylvania, close to family and friends. So Barbara, let's just get started. This latest book has gotten so many wonderful reviews. A Fine Layer of Dust. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. This book, I really worried about this book. Did you ever start a story and it was going to be one way, and then the next thing you know, it turned to be totally, totally different? I was going to write this book from the female point of view, as is usually the case. And her husband just literally took this book over, and it became his book and his story. And there are not a lot of women fiction writers who write from the male point of view. And my agent was like, say what? And I said, this is just how it happened. But no one has criticized that point of view. And in fact, a lot of people really love the fact that I wrote from the male point of view.
Yeah.
I
And
think
I
you
find it
did
easier.
so. I think you did so brilliantly.
So thank you, thank you,
So
and
his voice is so believable.
thank you. That is like gold to me
Yeah.
because actually it's easy for me to write from the male point of view, and I have no idea why. I mean, I'm not channeling any one specific person. I
Mm.
just hear the voice. You guys, you hear the voice in your head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I
that's
do.
what you hear.
Well,
Yeah.
So
for those in our audience who haven't had a chance to read this book, can you give us a synopsis of
Mm.
Finding
I can
Success?
certainly try. It's been a while since I wrote the book, and I'm 70,000 words into the fourth book. So, but I'll give it a shot. Jake Trenton is a good man. He is a lawyer. He is a father. He is a terrific husband. And then when his wife decides she wants desperately to become a surrogate, he is not at all sure that this is good and right for his family. But because he is all those things I said, a good man, a good husband, a good father, he agrees to it until he discovers that the baby is going to be born in the month of June. And the month of June is a trigger point for him. And he suddenly just starts to change. He becomes angry. He can't relate to his wife. He can't relate to his daughter. And the more pregnant she becomes, the less attractive she becomes to him. And he makes a disastrous decision, which affects two different families. And without giving away any more than that, he has to decide, he has to make a choice. What kind of a man does he want to be? And he literally goes through hell. And even when he changes, he can't confess to what he has done to his wife. He can't tell her what he has done. And of course, she finds out, and, things don't go well. They start divorce proceedings. And he just, it's like he deeply regrets what he did and comes to terms with what he did. And that's basically, without giving everything away, basically what happens. And he told me this story. He literally, I do not know a Jake Trenton. I do not know anyone like him, but he told me this story and I believed him.
Mm. Well, you also make him very believable in the story.
Oh, thank you.
And I have to say, like, I'm glad you didn't give anything more away because there's a point in the story where I am absolutely blown away. Like, I did not see something coming.
It
And
was
I
the
thought you did
best
such
part
a
of the
great
book.
job with that.
Thank you. It was the best part to write.
And did you know about, so Barbara has like a twist in this that you're going to be surprised by, but is that something, Barbara, you knew that you were going that this path was going to go down this way originally, or was that something that Jake kind of told you?
It not at first. I didn't know it at first, but one thing led to another, led to another, led to another. It's like he led me down that path.
Yeah.
Absolutely led me down that path. And the thing I admire about Jake is he knew he knew where he was failing and he just couldn't stop himself.
Yeah.
So yes, he led me, but it was one step after another. And all of a sudden we were there and I loved it. It was the best part to write,
Yeah.
I love this.
You did brilliantly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That means so much to me.
Well, Donna's not the only one who loved this book. I went on Amazon and I pulled up some of your reviews, and the words that kept being repeated was heartfelt, emotional, unique, layered and flawed, and all too human characters. heart-tugging women's fiction. What does that feel like to get those words? Because what does that mean to you?
It means everything.
Yeah.
It means literally everything. All I want is for someone, a reader, to take my story and love it, appreciate it, have it mean something to them. I've been very lucky with my reviews. Hopefully it stays that way. There's always somebody. You can't please everybody. Reading is so subjective, and sooner or later I will come up with a review that doesn't fall in love with the book. But so far I consider myself very fortunate.
What do you do with that? Like, does that get to you if you read a review that's, if they didn't like your book, is that something that bothers you, or are you somebody who can just kind of let it roll?
Oh no, I cannot let it roll.
Yeah.
The worst review I ever got was on my first book, which really sold well. And somebody gave me a review that was so devastating. And this is when I stopped reading reviews. Like, I will only read reviews if somebody texts or emails me and says, I just wrote this review and, it was 5 stars and whatever. And then I will go and look at those reviews. But I stopped reading like all the reviews because that first one, I was unprepared for the viciousness of the review, and also demoralized, unsure. Like, I totally, talk about just thinking I was not equipped with what it takes to be a writer. And I didn't write for a couple of days. And then I just said, I can't not write, whether the book gets published or not, I have to write. That's what I do. And that's what I've been doing for like ever since I got picked up by Red Adept. I just keep writing.
Yeah, and let's talk about your other books. So you wrote Nowhere Near Goodbye, My Secret to Keep, which these two they can be standalone, but they definitely are same characters. And then A Fine Layer of Dust, which are completely different characters.
Right.
Talk about a little bit about those book covers. Love that. And the titles, how you came up with that, because I think Donna, you have a specific question about her titles.
Okay.
Well, tell us how you come up with your titles first.
Okay. The first one, Nowhere Near Goodbye, was very easy for me to come up with because, as far as from Emma's point of view, Kate was nowhere near ready to say goodbye. So Nowhere Near Goodbye that was it. My Secret to Keep, I could not come up with a title. And finally Renee did. And she said, My Secret to Keep. The publisher loved both of them. The third book, I don't even remember what title I submitted. And Lynn calls me and says, no, this is not the title. And I said, okay. She said, you go through the book and you find something that sounds literary. You find something that is truly what the book is about. And in fact, I just completed an interview for WFWA, and they asked me what the best quote in my book was. And I said it was the one about Jake feeling that the feelings or the pressure from the adopted parents or the surrogate parents was like a fine layer of dust laying over him that he'd never be able to get rid of. And that's how, and I sent that to Lynn and she said, I love it. And I said, I've never heard you say you love anything.
That was my question.
Terrified to just being able to joke with her occasionally.
Because I think, if I remember correctly, I have read all three of your books. I think your titles are always embedded in a line.
Always.
Yeah,
Always.
that's
The
not the
only
case with
difference, yeah,
everyone.
the only difference is, and I read somewhere that that's, if you can't come up with a title, go
Yeah.
through your story, which Lynn is what Lynn told me.
Yeah.
Although I thought I had a title, but she felt that it was too much like thriller,
Yeah.
or so, and she didn't want that appearance for the book. She wanted it to be women's fiction, or she wanted it to be literary, or she just didn't want it to be thriller or suspense.
Right.
And the first two books, the title is at nearly the very end of the book.
Yeah.
The third book, it's in like maybe the second chapter.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted it to be at the end, but I couldn't come up with a way to do that. That meant as much to me as what, like a fine layer of dust,
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I find titles difficult.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you usually come up with them after you write the book or before?
Nowhere Near Goodbye, it was before. It was
Always.
like I totally knew what that book was going to be titled. The other two came after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's hit or miss, I think, and titles are just like covers, are really important.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's satisfying as a reader too. I always wonder like why this title, and it's
Yes.
satisfying to me when I find out why.
Yeah,
Whether it's a line or a reason.
absolutely. I agree. And in fact, was embarrassing. I asked one author, so where did this title come from? Is it in the book? And she just said, no. I said, okay, well, where did it come from? Oh, I don't know. And it's like she had no idea how she came up with this title. And I always want the titles to mean something to that particular book, just like I want the book cover to mean something. And in all three books, it does.
Yeah.
So I think Red Adept comes up with some nice covers.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's pivot a little bit and let's talk about your journey to being a published author, because I find that people are very curious about the process. Before I got my book deal, I had no idea what I was walking into, but listening to podcasts and listening to webinars from the WFWA, while I was still, trying to find a home for my book, it really gave me hope. So, Barbara, could you share your journey to publication?
It's simple. I did everything wrong. I literally did everything. You ask Wendy Gold-Rossi, she will tell you. I retired at 64 and started writing at age 64. So that just gives you a little idea of how old I really am. So I thought I had a story in my head about glioblastoma and this little girl who died, and that was based on truth. And I just thought I would sit down and write that story. So that's exactly what I did. And then WFWA had a conference in Philadelphia. And I went to it and I met Wendy, and she was considering being a book editor. And so she said, can I read your book, your manuscript, as practice? I said, sure. I said, it's not done, but sure. And she didn't get back to me, and she didn't get back to me. And I was like dying. And finally she says, so about your book. And she was so sweet. It's like she's been a friend of mine since then. She said, maybe you need to take some classes, And I said, okay. And I was literally devastated, but I did exactly what she said. I learned how to write a book, and then I rewrote the book, and I rewrote that book at least 20 times.
Wow.
And then when it sold to Red Adept, my developmental editor said, we need to cut Kate out altogether, which meant cutting half of the book because it was originally a two-person point of view. I said, that gets rid of 50% of my book. She said, yes, you're going to have to rewrite 50% of your book. I said, okay.
That's a big edit.
But then she gave me the best idea. She
Yeah.
said, you take that 50% that you cut out, you give it to another character, and you write another book. And that's exactly what I did with My Secret to Keep. I gave most of Kate's dialogue and background and everything to Miss Maggie in My Secret to Keep.
Wow.
And that's what I did. And I thought that was, so I literally saved it. I mean, I save documents. Do you guys do this? I save documents of everything I cut out, because you never know when you're going to use it again. You know? Yeah. So I did everything wrong. I only submitted to one publisher, Red Adept, because I had heard good things about them. And that's the publisher I wanted. So I didn't even submit to another publisher. So this is what I mean by I did everything wrong. I put all my eggs in one basket, and I literally cried when I got the call that they accepted my manuscript. And
well, I wouldn't say that's the wrong thing. It turned out well for you.
Well, yes, it did, but for all the wrong reasons. You know, so I would never tell anybody to do what I do, what I did. And, you know, I don't know. I don't think I have what it takes to go on submission for like months and months and months and months and months. You know, I don't think, the really big thing is, I don't think I have what it takes to be under a deadline. You know what I mean? Like it took me 6 years to write Nowhere Near Goodbye. It's only taken me 2 years to write the next two, but 2 years is too long for most publishers.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think I've learned where my lane is. I've collected readers. I've lost some with My Secret to Keep. I'm hoping I might get them back with A Fine Layer of Dust, but I don't know. I can only write what I need to write. I don't write to market. I wish I did. I did a podcast where I said, I wish I could write rom-coms. I would totally write rom-coms or suspense or thrillers, but my brain doesn't work that way.
Well, let's get into a little bit more about you. We're doing a new segment to find out about our authors very quickly. It's just a quick answer, a quick fire question. So Donna, you want to start off? And these are easy, we promise, Barbara.
Okay.
Yeah. One word answers. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Anything in it?
Sugar and milk.
Okay.
Okay. Are you an early morning writer or do you stay up late?
I am early morning all the way.
What's your favorite season for inspiration?
Fall.
Yes. Okay. So if your book or books, one of your books gets developed, would you rather it be a TV show or a movie?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think a TV show. I think that might have more longevity. I don't know. I could be dead wrong about that.
Well, they can write beyond it.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
That's the new model.
Yes, it totally is.
Favorite getaway destination?
Oh, Vermont.
Oh, I was just there for a wedding not long ago. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is. And the
Beautiful.
fall, yes, it's my favorite place to be.
Okay, so when you write, do you listen to music or does it have to be completely silent?
Dead silence, and don't interrupt me. No matter, unless the house is burning down. I don't want you to talk to me.
Okay.
We have a safe word in my house. Do not disturb word.
Really?
Yeah, we do.
We don't have those boundaries in my house. My husband just barrels right in and tells me about his day, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, they do that. My office is upstairs, and so they come bounding up, and the word is watermelon. I'm like, watermelon. I don't know how we came up with that.
Okay.
It works. Favorite snack while working? Speaking of watermelon.
Speaking of watermelon, I would say either a cookie or a biscuit.
Okay.
I love that. And finally, what is the best way to unwind after a day of writing?
Oh, that's so easy. A glass of wine. Always. Always. You know how if you
White or red?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you like white or red?
White.
Okay. Well, I
And
love
what were you going to say, Barbara?
Yeah,
You were
what were you
saying-
What was oh, when you go to the doctors and they say, maybe they don't say this to you, but they say, like, well, how many glasses of wine do you have a week? I say 3, which is a total. I said real. It's 7. There's 7 days in the week, but I say 3 because that sounds, well, you
That's
know,
respectable.
yeah. In my mind, it is.
There's no judging here. This is a no judge.
No judging.
I know, right?
Well, I kind of think I was going to ask a question about what you learned the hard way, but I think you answered that question.
Yeah, I learned everything the hard way, but you know, that's my whole life.
Yeah.
I've always learned it, but you know what? Once you learn it, you'll learn it.
You learn it. Yeah.
It also speaks to the fact that we all have our own path.
Mhm.
No two
absolutely.
authors have the same path.
No.
And I think that's important for new authors to know.
Yes, because they want to follow
A
what's
formula.
worked for someone else.
Yeah.
And wouldn't that be wonderful if we could do that? Like, I would like that, you know, like whatever they do, I want to do it and then it will get me there.
Right.
But it doesn't work that way.
No.
The other thing that's so great about you, Barbara, is you're not just a writer, but you also give back to the reading community. Tell us about your involvement with 2 organizations, the WFWA and Donna and our favorite Bookish Road Trip, where you host book club. It's a virtual book club once a month. Talk about how you got involved in that and how did it change you as a writer?
Well, I'll start with WFWA. Because it's a completely volunteer organization, I wanted to do something and to volunteer something, but I made it clear, well, I only wanted to do something easy. So I started doing the Thursday posts for whatever people had their big moments for that week or whatever, and also the welcome the new members. So I've done that for years. And in fact, I will end that at the end of December, just because I've been doing it probably for 6 years.
Wow.
And I've burnt out a little bit about it. And the other thing I do for them is secret. And I can't really say what it is, but I do that also, and I will continue doing that. Then for Bookish Road Trip, I wanted to be an admin on that group. I wanted, for so many reasons. I liked the group, and I literally contacted the head, Aunt Mary, and I said, I would really like to be a part of this group. And she said, at first, I think she said they didn't have anything. And then she called me back and she said, so we have somebody that's leaving. How do you feel about book club? I said, oh, not at all. I do not want to do book club. I do not want to do book. You should see me the day of book club. Every month, I am like stressed to the gills. And it turned out to be a lot of fun. Of course, there's a lot of, and you all know this, there's a lot of
prep
behind the scenes. There's a lot of prep to doing that. I mean, I should probably do it ahead of time, but I spend that day doing a lot of prep. And then there's the finding the authors and, you know, that are willing to do it. And I've been so fortunate. It's like, I've really gotten some nice authors. I'm going to have Kristen Higgins in 2020.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Congratulations.
She lives right now.
Yeah. And so I filled up 2026 like so early in 2025. So now I'm holding off. I think I have 2 months, October and November, and I'm waiting to see if any of our admin has a book that's releasing.
Right.
And then I'll have one. So you guys better get on the ball because, you know, I could say, would you like to be on? Because that's not against the rules.
Well, I might. I don't know when my book's coming, but it is coming.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
I'll let you know when I know.
Exactly. Because you know I'm going to want to read it.
Yeah.
And it's like both of you write beautifully. And
Thank you.
That was a fun part of both Bookish Road Trip and the fact that we're all with the same publisher. In fact, I think the only person that is not with Red Adept is Linda Rosen.
Yeah.
Not positive, but I think
Yeah.
that's true. So Red Adept seems to have taken over Bookish Road Trip.
Yeah.
And we've got
in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. And speaking of which, Stency Webb was at this conference, the Unbox conference that I was just at. She's so much fun to spend time with.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I met her for real in Chicago 2 years ago at the WFWA conference.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to spend nearly the amount of time because that was like 350 people. It was huge. But this one was much smaller and there was more time to spend time together. And it was a lot of fun. It's really nice to meet people in person.
Yeah. Well, Barbara, this has been wonderful. I feel like we could talk to you all day long, but we always try to keep our podcast around the 30-minute mark. But just real quick, how can everyone keep up with you? Because I'm sure our viewers would love to find you on social media and at your website.
Yes, well, that is my website, is the barbaraconreyauthor.com. And basically everything is Barbara Conrey at Facebook, at Threads, at Twitter, at Instagram. It wouldn't be hard to find me anywhere. But my website is the best place because it also has all of the, you can just go right to any of the links to any of my social media.
And again, congratulations on A Fine Layer of Dust. Last review, wow, I loved everything about A Fine Layer of Dust by Barbara Conrey. This is a heartfelt, emotional, thoughtful, provoking, and captivating novel. And we are so happy for you. And thank you so much for spending a little time with us over here at Authors Talking Bookish.
Thank you for inviting me. I was really touched.
Yeah, we appreciate you as an author, as a friend, as a mentor. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And Donna, this is our last episode of 2025. So we're taking off a couple of weeks for the holidays, but we're coming back strong for 2026.
Yeah, we'll be back probably the second week of January. So follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our newsletter, and we'll let you know when we'll be back.
And again, Barbara, thank you so much. You're such a delight. And everyone, Happy New Year's. And we will see you in 2026.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Hope Gibbs.
And I'm Donna Norman Carbone. It's time for you to get to work.
We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks with another tip from your author friends.